rock me, mama.
On that note, welcome back.
Welcome. This is Rock Me Mama, and I'm Amy.
Were you trying to decide if you were going to sing?
Yeah, I didn't know.
I'm Macy. This is Rock Me Mama. Did you already say it?
Yeah, I did. That's fine. That's fine. You're hungry.
Oh, wait, y'all forgot. This is Rock Me Mama.
Oh,
yeah.
Rock Me Mama.
Welcome back. This is Rock Me Mama. Okay. Oh my God. Stop.
So what are we talking about?
This one was
Queen?
sent in from a listener. She said spouse/partner mental load. I already forgot.
The mental load of like having kids and sharing the responsibility.
My brain ain't braining. Spouse/partners and sharing the mental load of parenthood.
But is that really a thing? Do men share the mental load with us? Is that
I think it's sharing or lack thereof. Is
sharing, or like what percentage do you think? I mean, I feel like I can speak for myself, but Nick helps me with everything, and he's a really big help. But he has to be told, when you talk about mental load, I have to delegate responsibility.
then that's not sharing the mental load.
I think
you're
that-
thinking of it.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
I have to be like, we got to do her eye drops because she has pink eye.
Yeah.
That was fun. She has pink eye.
Yeah.
Well, she did. We have to, has she taken her vitamin? It's teddy bear day at school today. Is the teddy bear in your car? No. Does she have her blanket for school? No.
Yeah.
Are there diapers? I mean, Chase drops E off with like a pair of Chase's shorts and like 2 infant diapers. And we're like, okay, cool. Like, we got this.
No, I told y'all that he sent E to school because I'm sure it's the same everywhere, but they want like a change of clothes.
Yeah.
And he it was one day that he was dropping E off and I wasn't. And like, little does he know, I've thought like all of this is taken care of.
Yeah.
Right. Like, he has the extra diapers at school. He has the change of clothes at school. But he was like reading through the email that they send out because it was his first time to drop off. And so I think he was like panic packing.
Yeah.
So I pick up E from school that day, and in his backpack is my nephew's bathing suit. Not even shorts, but my nephew's bathing suit. No shirt.
Yeah.
Just my nephew's bathing suit. And I pulled it and I said, what is this? He said, I knew he needed a change of clothes. And it was like, first off, it's a bathing suit. Second of all, not his.
It doesn't belong to our son.
Not his.
Yeah.
And third of all, no shirt.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta give him credit though. He did look it up. He made an effort.
Yeah.
He made an effort.
I was actually shocked that when I was out of town, Nick was able to put her hair up.
He did such a good job. I meant to text you about that.
So yeah, like because her bangs are just at the length where they're in her eyes. So I have to put her her bangs in a little ponytail every day.
No, he did
or it's in
such
her
a
eyes.
good job.
And I saw pictures from school when I was away. And I was like, oh my God, her bangs are up.
He did a great job.
Do you understand how hard that is?
Oh, I
like
know.
she fights us on everything.
He dropped her off at our house. I guess it was Monday. He dropped her off at our house. And literally, as she was running up, I go, Nick, her hair. I was like, it looks so good.
I noticed it too.
He did her hair. He did her hair well, right?
was
and of
really
course he
cute.
goes, oh, I tried.
Yeah.
But like, it looked, he did a really good job.
Yeah. And I'm like shocked because like he doesn't do any of that. Like when I'm home, it's all me.
Yeah.
He helps with everything. Like he really does. I have an exceptionally helpful husband.
Yeah. We all
and he
do.
really does just take direction. And that's something that he does in general because he's a younger man and I'm an older woman. We've always had the dynamic of me kind of like coaching him in everything because of the almost 10-year age gap.
Yeah.
So as a parent, it's kind of the same where he reverts to me. He looks to me to kind of tell him
I think
like,
that's also a
what do we,
mother
and it's a mother. Yeah. I think it's a woman man thing.
Because I think that's what it is. And we've talked about this before. It probably was like episode 4 or 5. So it's been a long time, but I think that they almost use us as a crutch when we are around.
To be less good.
So there
like
are
when
times,
we're not around, they're better.
Yes, because they're fully capable. Like we have very, very capable husbands who are incredible fathers.
Yeah.
And husbands. And I know that Chase would be able to do it completely by himself. But when I'm home, it's always asked.
Yeah.
Like he's asking,
hey, do we need me to do this? Or what should we make for dinner? And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why don't you fucking pick what we make for dinner?
Do y'all remember the question, does Eli have water bottles?
No, it's, are his water bottles around here somewhere?
Yeah. Are his water bottles around here?
You're like, I don't know. I
What
don't
you
know.
mean in our kitchen?
Yeah. Why don't you look?
Use your eyeballs.
Why don't you look?
Things like that like,
yeah.
that wasn't, if I hadn't been home,
He would have found them.
he would have found them.
Yeah.
But it was like, well, mom's home. She knows.
Yeah. It's
So
the
I think
default
it's
parent.
yes.
It's being the default parent.
So that's what it is. So, and to answer the question, there is a difference in sharing the load, because I think we all share the load. Like,
yeah.
all of it. We have fantastic
We're lucky.
husbands and partners
Yeah.
that really, truly are very, very, very hands-on, even like with each other's kids.
Yeah.
There's a difference in the load and the mental load.
I would say that the mental load, like Morgan said, we don't share.
No.
The mental load, this is from that comic I was talking about, from a French comic named Emma. The mental load means always having to remember.
Yes.
So it doesn't mean that you're always the one doing the tasks. It's the remembering.
Yeah. And being expected to remember it.
I think a man can be away from his child and really be away, whereas a mother never leaves.
I think so too.
You know, we can be 1,000 miles away and right there. Like you never leave your child.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the difference between mothers and fathers.
Yeah.
Like
that's a good way to.
I take her wherever I go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's, you don't ever have, there is not a moment of your life that you're not thinking, is my child okay? Is my child taken care of?
Right.
But I think men can kind of put that away.
Yeah.
Like when Nick flew to New York to do the draft thing with his friends and like drank, and he can drink and like have a whole night of
not be a dad.
Literally not being like, how is she? And he does. He's like, how is she? Is she good? But he's doing it because, you know, you're supposed to ask how your kid is. And of course he's thinking about her, but not in the way that I do.
It's not a concern. It's more of like, how is she? I miss her.
Yeah. And
versus
it's
like, what time did she go to bed?
4 or 5 hours go by where he's so focused on like the sports and drinking and whatever that he's not thinking in this time did something happen. Whereas there would never be 4 hours that went by.
Yeah.
That I didn't text him to see how our child was.
Right. I've texted Chase twice since being here asking if
because that's how it is.
Yeah.
And that's just the difference. And it's not bad or good.
No.
They didn't physically have the child. The child did not grow in their body.
Right.
And that's why Nick always says to me, like, when I get upset with him, you know, about all this infertility stuff and about all the like, okay, if it doesn't work, if we don't have our own kid, are we going to adopt? Are we going to foster? I don't want her to be an only child. Not only because I think only children are fine, but because like, I want her to be well-rounded, and I want her to understand what it's like to compromise, to share, to think of other people, not herself, you know, like, and I don't want to play with her on the ground for 10 years.
You don't want to be in the sandbox.
Yeah. But I ask him to kind of be like a 50% partner in these conversations and in these mental conversations that I'm having with myself all day, every day. And he's like, you cannot expect me to be there with you.
Yeah.
I'm not there with you. I don't think about this all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, are we going to do IVF or are we not going to do IVF? He's like, it's your fucking body.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, fair, but it's your life too.
Yeah.
Can you meet me here?
Yeah.
Can you fucking at least make this thought a priority in your life? Mm-hmm. Because I keep repeating this to him. I am turning 41 in November. I do not want to be having this conversation in a year.
Yeah.
So if we are going to do IVF, let's do it.
Yeah.
If we're, and I took the 2 months. It's been on 2 months since I've been on my meds. Mm-hmm. Okay, are we going to go forward or are we not? Yeah. Am I excited? No. But if it's something that is non-negotiable to you, if you will not foster, if you will not adopt, let's do it now.
Yeah.
If we're not going to do it, let's start the very lengthy adoption process, which we have to save for, because it's going to be 30 to 50 fucking grand.
Yeah.
And we have to emotionally prepare for, do the work and apply. It could take a couple years. So I don't want a newborn baby when Farah is 6.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these are the conversations, like when we talk about mental load, like, have this with me.
Yeah.
Do this with me.
Yeah.
And I just don't think men have the capacity to do it.
They don't. And they don't understand it. I know this has been a kind of like bicker that Chase and I have gotten in several times since becoming parents is and I know y'all have experienced it too. The overstimulation of being the default parent honestly happens to me several times on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Especially now with 2 and breastfeeding and all of that. And there are times where it does add up and it builds up and it explodes and I take it out on Chase and he's like, I wish you could just like chill or like, I don't, whatever is it he says, it's always like, you don't know though. You don't know that no matter what I do, it doesn't turn off.
No.
I fall asleep thinking about what I need to do for the boys the next day.
Yep.
And then I wake up and it's immediately, what do I need to do for the boys today? And that doesn't stop. And it's a constant thing. And I would love to just be able to go meow and turn it off. You can't. But I can't. And
my mom still asks me when my plane takes off and when it lands.
I have to text my mom every time I get home from anything
because she genuinely won't rest until she knows my plane has landed. And I am 40 fucking years old.
Yeah.
Like that.
It doesn't go away.
Mom, you never stop being a mom. You know, you never turn off. You can't go on a vacation and say, I'm taking a break from being a mom. You cannot be with your kid physically, but they are in your fucking soul. Everywhere you go, every second of every day.
Yeah.
And that's something I don't think a man can ever understand.
No. You know
what I mean?
Yeah.
And like it will be with us forever. I mean, we talked about this with the episode with Meg. I mean, I think about what she's going to feel when I'm gone.
Yeah.
And I'm not even there.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Is he asking for me?
Are there things that she needs me for that I can't help her with? No. It's like, and I just think the mental load, just the preparation. I mean, everything is like, because you learn very early on that if you don't prepare and if you don't prep, like if you don't like have like things ready for the next day, you're fucked. You have to have kind of a plan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Whether it's packing their bag and packing their food and taking them to school, or whether it's a day that you're with them all day, you have to be like, okay, we're going here. We're doing this. Because on the fly doesn't really work with little kids.
No, or it's way too stressful. It doesn't work.
No.
It doesn't work.
And like, I know for my kid, like she thrives on being out and about.
Oh yeah, for sure.
She really likes to be out and about. She's not a homebody at all, which I get. Because I'm not really like that either. But every once in a while, I'm like, can we just watch a fucking movie?
Well, even like, and we've learned with E, and 2 days of the week he's at school. The other 2 days he's with our nanny. But if that's not the case, say we're not doing the, or it's the weekend, whatever.
Yeah, or she's like, can't,
before his nap at 12 o'clock, he must get out of the house. Even if that's playing in the backyard. Like, he has to go and do something, and that has to be thought about, especially now too, because it's like, okay, well, are all 4 of us going to go, or if we are all going, what time do we need to leave in order to be back for this nap and his nap, and then
that's why I think when they're older, and my friend Michelle, not Michelle from LA, but my friend Michelle that lives in Florida that I went to boarding school with, who's also a badass, she was like, dude, kids don't get fun till they're 4. She has 2 kids. She's like, they're not fun till they're 4.
Yeah.
And she said that, and I'm like, I'm already having fun like at 2.5, even though like she's a fucking maniac.
Yeah.
She's also super fun. Yeah. But she was like, if you adopt a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
But she said once they're done with naps and once they're like actually able to like live their lives with you and like understand and have conversations and I don't know, just be like a little bit more on your level. She was like, it's so fun.
I've heard that.
And I honestly can't wait. Like,
I
I don't want the time to go by too fast, but like, I also can't wait to be like, what do you want to do today?
Yeah.
And be like, oh, you want to go see a movie and then walk around here?
And then not throw a fit when you give them what
and then
they want.
not have a tantrum when you do it. Farrah had a full on tantrum today when I picked her up from school. It was raining a little bit, so I brought her umbrella, which is my mistake. She's obsessed with her umbrella, and when I give her her little umbrella, she never wants. She's like, it kind of like triggers her to be a psychopath. And so I gave her little umbrella. We went home. I brought her a chocolate chip cookie because if I don't bring her a treat when I pick her up from school, she says milkshake, cookie, like she's spoiled because I always bring her a treat. So it's almost like I'm rewarding her for allowing me to live as a human. Yeah. I'm like, here's a fucking cookie because I lived today and worked. And so picked her up, gave her a little umbrella. We got home. She had a nervous breakdown because she wanted to stand in the rain with the umbrella. And I was like, I did my hair today.
Yeah.
I washed my hair. And I was like, honey, mommy needs to go inside.
Yeah.
Mommy only washes her hair once or twice a week.
Right.
So then, and I was up with her at 7 a.m. Petting the fucking neighborhood cat this morning outside. So I'm like, I've done enough outside with you. So then she had a nervous breakdown because I took her in and I touched her umbrella. So then she said,
the love.
Mommy, don't touch my umbrella. Don't try to take Farrah umbrella. Mommy took Farrah umbrella. Don't touch Farrah umbrella. She had a nervous breakdown for literally 20 full minutes saying, leave alone, leave alone. That's her new thing is, mommy, leave alone, leave alone. And I would run up to her and try to give her a hug and be like, baby, mommy's sorry. Leave alone. So she yells, leave alone. And then she's running around the house with the fucking umbrella. And finally I take the umbrella because she's like literally just like going to poke her own eye out.
Yeah.
I take the umbrella, I put it on the fridge and I'm like, okay. And she goes, you know when they do that, they look at you and they're like, and I was like, okay. And I had to basically wait it out like 10 minutes. And I said, okay, I'll leave alone. And she went into her little tent and she just like had it out with herself. Aww. Then she came out and she was like, Bobby. Aww. And I gave her a hug.
So she was working through her emotions.
She had to work through it, but it's like, it's very hard for me to leave alone. Morgan's literally getting naked.
Go ahead and tell the listener.
Morgan has been stripping her clothes off this episode because she's very hot.
I
wish you had
so warm. And look, between the pregnancy areolas and the boob sweat, it's pretty unhinged, but it's where we're at. Y'all get yourself friends like Amie and Macy because we all deserve it. I was like, yeah, sure, it's coming off.
Yeah. Honestly, I wish that you hadn't prefaced. I wish I just looked over there and you didn't have a shirt on.
I saw her taking it off.
What are you going to do? And we're keeping this bit in. So.
Yeah, of course we are.
I will say,
let them titties out.
Can I ask one thing?
Let the titties fly.
Can I make a little, like a little ask or a little question of my own on the mental load, if that's okay?
Yeah.
Just as a nice, sometimes you got to take your shirt off to get attention.
Yeah.
To ask your questions. I'm just kidding.
You got it, baby.
Yeah. So a challenge that Bill and I have had, and I haven't talked much about Bill and I's relationship on this.
Love it. Go on, queen. Go on.
Personally, I'm the one that's like the crappy, like lazy one, and I'll just blame it on pregnancy for now. However, what's your take on? Because I feel like he's grown so much as a dad and like remembering those like parent related things and things about heart. But like Then we have guys like Bill, so my perspective, who have the mental load of like literally everything else. So, hey, I need to fix that thing that's sticking out of the wall. He cares about the kitchen being clean every night. I don't need that in order to go to sleep and rest well.
Oh, see, I do.
What's that scuff on the floor? What's another thing? Like
payments. I mean,
what about bills and stuff?
The laundry, or I have this little pile over here that's bothering him. So he's got the mental load of like of the tasks. And you know what he's most anxious about with having a second kid?
What?
This is Bill through and through, is how am I going to do all my things that I have to do?
Oh, Bill.
Like the grass is too long. Like, it's
cutting the grass is Nick. Yeah, Nick is.
It's a constant. So like I have to like, whenever we're having this conversation, yes, it is so real and such a fact that women and mothers specifically bear this load. But
you have to give credit.
The other half, there's the other half of it of like, I mean, and I'm like, do they ever think to us, and they probably do, like, can you just chill out? Because I think
Chase does say that to me.
Because like, it's just the kitchen. It's just like, we can just go to bed and there's dishes in the sink. But for him, it's like, no, this is the way it needs to be, or things are going to fall apart.
Yeah.
I do genuinely, he like can't, he's a nervous wreck.
I agree with that. But I agree. I'm a big firm believer of, except there are exceptions. Yeah. There are nights where you're like, we had a night, let's just deal with it. But for the most part, pretty much 99.9% of the time, I have to have a clean slate.
Yeah.
I have to wake up to a clean house.
I do too.
So I have got to wake up to no dishes in the sink and a clean floor and a clean playroom and I have to do all that stuff. And I've forced my husband out of pure fear of me to be the same way. Yeah. And now he actually is.
Yeah,
I mean, he really is that way. He wasn't that way when I met him. But I am a firm believer. But Nick does also do all the things as far as painting certain, he was painting something yesterday and he fixed something in the garage and he's always taking care of things. He's
always cooking. He's always in the kitchen.
He cooks a lot.
And don't get me wrong. There are the guys though, like, and this isn't like to, shit on any husbands or not or whatever, but there are the guys that like, also, I'm just lucky that I could say on the first half of that my husband also does a lot of the kid. I mean, it's not, you're not perfect, babe. But
don't let this get to your head, Bill.
There are a lot of husbands though that like don't share in like the parent, like
I would say more husbands than not.
Yeah.
And do all the other things. And so it's like, but all of that stuff still matters, like for the motherhood, the mental load. So, we do have to focus on that. But I'm like, does anyone else struggle, listeners or Macy and Amie, of like the tasks never end.
They never end.
Even if they're not the ones I'm thinking about.
No, they never end. Like there is never not something like even down to like money. Like I just recouped my deal with Universal. So now all the money that was going to them, I get. And so every 3 months when I get my music money, my checks look a lot different. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh, wow, this is going to help us so much. No, it's going directly to debt.
Yeah.
Like the money, and it is helping, of course. Yeah, but the money that I'm making now, because I been stay-at-home mom the last 2 years, but the money I'm making now from my writing goes directly towards the new HVAC that we had to have installed. My husband's student loans, our credit cards that we racked up when we weren't making enough money, like her school, every single thing that I get money for and that he gets money for, where we're like, oh wow, this is going to be a nice chunk of change. Yeah. It goes directly to something that we already owe.
Mm-hmm. But eventually that won't be the case. But like, holy fuck.
Yeah. Like you think when you get a significant check for something that you've worked really hard for, that it's actually going to be something fun. It's not fun.
No.
Yeah. It's not fun money.
I'm getting this payout for something and
it goes directly.
I we're like, oh, we can finish paying off this like tax bill we have and then maybe replenish our savings from when we had to buy a dishwasher.
Yeah. And we were thinking, oh, we're going to start doing renovations on the upstairs bathroom, which Nick and Bill was going to help too. And Chase probably too. Like
he'll observe.
Yeah. He'll help. He'll like give them like emotional support.
Yeah, but he'll like drink beer.
But like we realize now that it's like, no, that's farther off than we thought because we still have these other things because now student loans come back in the picture where they were relieved for a while. Now they're coming back in the picture and that's going to be another $250 on top of everything else that we owe a month. You know, and then we're like, oh, should we pay off my car? What should we pay off first? We have so many things that we're like, what should we pay first? Mm-hmm. And you just don't realize like how much adulting has to be done.
Yeah, always.
When you have kids.
Yeah. I will say, I think, you know, we've probably given men enough credit on this episode and we can continue to talk about the mental load of motherhood.
Let's not. Let's not give them any more credit.
We do have really good husbands. I don't want this to sound, and I don't want
it. And it didn't.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Because I don't want this to sound like my husband knocks it out of the park. I don't know. That was the first phrase that came to mind. He's a great.
Yeah, but a lot of husbands aren't great, and a lot of boyfriends aren't great.
Right.
A lot of partners are not great.
I do think for the three of us specifically sitting in here, because that is correct and sad, but we all have very hands-on supportive husbands. What you said about we can't turn being a mom off, I think that is the best way to differentiate between the mental load between mom and dad.
Totally.
Because what you said and then what Morg just said about them, they may not have the load of like just parenthood that is always in our mind, but they have finances, the house, protecting my family. I know that's one thing that Chase is always, he's just this pressure to keep us healthy and safe and protected and taken care of. And they do have that load. But I think the difference, to like wrap up the question, the original question that was asked, is women cannot turn off being a mom.
No.
But men, I would say, are
more capable of. They can go on a boys' weekend and just be boys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But whereas we would be checking in and FaceTiming and asking how long the nap was and asking what time they
literally every day I was gone. I was like, oh, what time did she wake up exactly?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so this is when she has to go to bed.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And he runs everything by me. Right. You know, they run everything by you because they want to make sure that they're doing it right.
Yeah. Last time we recorded, I was like, oh, remember, we're starting at 7:30 this time. You know, they're coming over at 7:30, so make sure Hart wakes up before 3 so that he can go down earlier.
Stuff like that.
I'm like,
it's a lot. You're always thinking 8 steps like ahead. Yeah. So I do think I don't want to discredit. I cannot speak for listeners' husbands, but for the three of us, our husbands, I don't want to discredit what they do and how
they do a lot.
They
but
are.
There's a reason why this is a question.
Yeah.
This is a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This is a thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that at the end of the day, moms, we are going to be worrying about our kids until
and it starts at conception. Guys get to like fucking goo and have a good time. And we have 9 months or 10 months of hell, followed by another 2 years of not being human.
Oh, yeah. This is a man's world. We're just passing through.
Yeah. Let's face it. No man on this earth, other than, you know, people that are born in the wrong body, would trade with a woman. No, none of our husbands would be like, I want to come back as my wife.
No,
none of them.
Yeah, I think anyone.
None of them.
Absolutely not.
None of them.
No.
But we'd all be like, I mean, I do love being a woman. I will say.
I do too.
I do fucking love being a woman.
So do I.
But it is the hardest shit ever.
It's so hard.
And I would love to know what it was like for one day to be a man.
Yeah, me too. I really would.
It almost makes you appreciate it that much more, though, knowing that it's not the easy one.
No, it's the hard way.
No, we have it hard. And I admit the men know that.
Yeah,
my man knows that.
Nick is like, I would never trade. He's like, ever. I never want to know.
Yeah.
No. And
we endure.
And so I just, the reason I brought that up is because it's like, that's just what came to mind is like, I've got all the one half of it. And then like, he's got the other half of like, you know,
all the other shit.
Save some room to remember some diapers, please.
You're listening, Bill?
And feel free to say no, but I do have a small portion of this viral comic about the mental load.
Yeah.
That I think would help us bookend probably. I mean, y'all can talk as long as you want, but
no.
So we say it's the burden of remembering, right? So here's, for me, the fact that this load exists becomes obvious when I decide to take care of a simple chore like clearing the table, right? It should be simple. I start by picking something up to put it away, but on the way, I come across a dirty towel that I put in the laundry basket, which I find full of dirty laundry. So I go to the washing machine and I see the vegetables that I need to put in the fridge on the way. As I'm putting away the vegetables, I realize that I need to add mustard to the shopping list, and so on and so forth. In the end, I'll have cleared away my table after 2 long hours, only to find it covered in stuff again later that evening. Almost done. If I ask my partner to clear the table, he'll just clear the table. The towel will stay on the floor, the vegetables will rot on the kitchen counter, and we won't have any mustard for dinner.
Yep. That's literally it.
Drop the mic.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, that's
good, right?
That's inside a woman's head and thought process, and like we're not scatterbrained. We're
multitaskers,
and we're like responsible or feel the responsibility.
We are
for so many things, and that's how like so many tasks do get started because we see one thing, and then I mean that nailed it. I don't even have anything to say. That absolutely nailed it.
Oh yeah, I mean we'd always take turns. If Nick does bedtime, I clean. If I do bedtime, Nick cleans. And when I clean, it's, just a different clean. And when Nick cleans, especially now that fucking football started.
Yeah.
We talk about football.
Game over.
I know.
And football doesn't exist only on Sundays in my house.
It's 8 days every day. Week.
Yeah, football's every day. But he will do 2 things and sit down, and then I'll come down and I'll be like, hey, he's like, oh, sorry.
This is a big game. That's Chase's
thing. And I'm like, cool. So I did like the 2-hour bedtime. Like bedtime takes us so long. And then I get back down and I'm like, okay, granted, most of the time he does a good job cleaning because he's terrified of me. But now that football started, it's a whole other thing. Anyway, we love you guys, and we'll see you.
Wait, we have a question from the.
What do you want to know?
She's like, she's like, we've had enough Nick in this. Let's not do the segment.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, we've talked about him too much. Okay, what do you guys want to know?
What do you want to know?
It'll never not be funny.
I love it. I don't think we've had this one yet. What's your favorite and least favorite part about becoming a mom and being a mom in general? Great question, Emily.
My favorite part is, oh my God, so many things just flooded to my mind. Oh my God, how do you pick one?
It's so
I'm trying to think of a all-encompassing answer. I guess the sense of not even purpose, but the sense of like fulfillment. Like it's the greatest love I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah.
I love my, oh my God.
Oh
no. I love my boy so much.
I know, we understand.
Oh man. It's like, it's an indescribable love.
I know.
Uh-oh.
This is how it's described.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how you answer your favorite part. You can't explain it until you become one.
No,
I think that's a good answer.
Fucking best. It's
What's
so
your least
hard,
favorite
but
part?
So my least favorite part, having a colicky baby. I don't know.
Colic was the worst.
Least favorite part. If you have an answer.
Why do I always cry when you cry? Like every time
I came out of nowhere.
I know.
Wow, Waterworks really surprised me there. Oh man, I don't know. Do you have you give an answer for you? I got to think about my least
favorite part. I don't know, like me and her just laughing together, feeling like somebody understands you, like you're their whole world, and you just like today, like every day, like I'm tickling her on the couch and we're rolling around together and she says like, Mommy, I love you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love you too. And she's, Mommy, I love you so much. And we just like kiss and hug, and it's an intimacy like I've never known.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, my least favorite part is I'm fucking tired.
Yeah.
You know, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I am endlessly tired, and there is no light at the end of my tired tunnel.
Yeah. I think my least favorite part is probably never feeling like I'm doing enough, which is a personal problem. But
no, it's a mom problem. It's a guilt problem.
I really struggle. Mom guilt is very prevalent in my life, and I kind of always I end every day with like, if only I'd done that, or could I have been better here? And I'm sure every mom does that, but that's my least favorite part.
Yeah,
that's not fun.
No, but that's also like your personality. Like you do that with this podcast. You're like, did that episode suck? I'm like, no, you were great.
I do that with every aspect of literally every aspect.
Yeah, I'm an overthinker too. Yeah, but I think you are
I do that really
overboard with the overthinking.
It's really bad.
Yeah, I would say motherhood is the greatest thing ever that's ever happened to me, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
No, I wouldn't either.
Macy, share the phrase that was on that video that you told us about.
Oh yeah. I shared, I don't know if you watched it. I shared on my story today. Chase sent it to me. I don't know if it was two dads interviewing each other, and the interviewer asked the interviewee, right? What is a piece of parenting advice you would give? And he said, this is the piece of parenting advice I give to everybody. He said, whatever bad you are in right now, whether it's sleepless nights or, you're playing passy pong, the pacifier won't stay in, or it's colic. Fuck. He said, the bad always ends. He said, the good, it doesn't end.
Yeah.
He said, the bad that's happening to you right now that you feel like you're never going to get out of, it has an end. But he said, the good, you're going to live in it forever. And I like,
it's such a great,
it's so good.
That's so real.
So true. Chase's comment when he sent it, he said, this is a pretty hard argument as to like why you should become a parent. Or he like phrased it as like, how can you argue that it's not worth it and it's not the best thing in the world?
Yeah. And it's not for everyone, that's for sure.
That is true. It's
what about you, Mark?
Yeah, you answer.
Oh, yeah. Favorite part, I guess I have the luxury of hearing y'all's answers. I think it's the relationship, and it's that, there's no one that is going to feel the way about me than like Heart feels.
Yeah.
And I think that actually covers a lot of bases of motherhood. Mm-hmm. So I'll use that as my answer. Least favorite, to be honest with you, I miss bebopping around town to thrift stores and antique shops whenever I want.
Yeah.
I do miss the freedom.
Spontaneity. Mm-hmm. Being like, I want to do this.
We talked about that before.
Yeah.
I actually almost said that as my answer. That
and
is
like,
one.
that's, wow, what a great thing. That's my least favorite part.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally. Yeah. But that's a very real thing. Losing your like,
that's something that like, maybe it's not the crappiest part of motherhood, but that is something that I keep coming back to of like, dang, I really miss that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And
you're allowed, like we're allowed to miss that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're allowed to miss things.
Mm-hmm.
And still love being a mom.
And it doesn't make you a bad mom. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well,
that was a good one.
Another good one, guys.
Some laughter, some tears.
Let's celebrate ourselves. We did good.
Was that this episode that I said we knocked it out of the park? It was. We knocked it out of the park.
Oh, yeah. All right. We love you guys. We'll see you next time. This is Rock Me Mama.
Cheers to the mental load.
Yay. Bye.
Rock, rock, rock me, mama.